Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Beyond Film School, where I tell you all about the film industry. I am Amber. Thank you for joining my live stream. Hello, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well on this Sunday afternoon. I hope that daylight savings doesn't really mess anybody up. It is March 13th, and it's actually the 2-year anniversary of the pandemic and when it started. It was like my last day on set, March 13th. It was a Friday the 13th, and like that's when everything shut down. Whew, so 2 years in the making. I can't believe that like 2 years have really gone by with this whole COVID thing. It's kind of crazy when I think about it. It's actually like, holy hell. So today we're going to be talking about how to talk to people, how to talk to film people specifically, because it is very, very hard to do that. And I know a lot of people definitely are like, how do I approach people? What do I say? What can I do? What is it? How do I avoid this awkward conversation that I really, really want to have? I really want to like tap into the knowledge that is this film person. What is in their brain? I want to pick their brain so bad. And you kind of, I mean, I guess maybe this might be for the socially awkward. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe this could be for the introvert. But also it's like the approach. There are certain tactics you should use. And we're going to jump into like how to kind of go about this. So as always, I want to welcome your comments. Let me know in your comments where you're viewing from, maybe different countries, different states. I want to say hello to me. Let's have a great live stream. I want everyone to kind of like join the chat. And if you have any questions, definitely put them in there. I will address them. I'm always happy to address questions, and it definitely can be off topic because sometimes things just come up in your head and you're like, wait, she's here, I'm gonna ask her. Definitely like do it. Definitely ask me. I mean, what a better time, right? I'm here live with you, and if you have a question, I will definitely answer it. I think this is like the perfect opportunity, so if it comes to mind, definitely let me know in the chat. Got to start my coffee intake here. Today is my Tim Hortons cup. Yeah, I'm from Buffalo. Tim Hortons is a big Canadian thing, but in Buffalo, we're practically Canadian. I hate when people say that to me. I don't even know why I'm repeating it, but Timmy Ho's, we like to call it in Buffalo. It's one of my favorite, sponsored by Tim Hortons. It's really, really not, but I don't know why I love this mug so much. So let's just go right into how to talk to film people. And this kind of relates to my video that is coming out on Wednesday because I talk about film networking. So this topic, I mean, I put a poll out every week to see what you guys want to discuss, and it was really, really, really close. It was like 31%, 32%. It was like, this topic, and I forget the other topic was, I think, unions, and I don't remember which one, but it was pretty close. It was pretty close. So, oh yeah, it was traits and personalities of like the kind of like the ones that are right for filmmaking, like the personality characteristics that might, work better in the film world. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is that if you hop on any production, this could be a short film, a music video, a commercial, like you got your first gig, it might be a volunteer gig, whatever, right? It could be anything, but you're on set. And this is kind of like for when you're already there, you've already gotten the opportunity, you've already gotten hired, and now you're like, okay, how do I make the best of this opportunity, right? So this is the first thing you're going to do. Very, very simple. I mean, I hope you guys got notepads because I give you like a step-by-step plan here. I swear to God. So the first thing you're going to do is observe. You are going to watch, observe all the things that you can, and just really take it all in. Because if it is your first day on set, you don't really know a lot. And I don't want to say that insultingly, but like you're kind of just might be a little overwhelming. This is your chance to kind of just take it all in and just, see how things work. And your first days on set, you don't go in throwing your weight around, okay? That's the first thing. Let's just have the right attitude going in. I was giving it, thanks for letting me know about the echo. I don't know why the echo is happening. Is it really still happening? Oh my gosh. I'm gonna pause right here. Thank you, The Relentless, for letting me know. I'm not really sure. Let me just take a look here. I'm going to just change it really quick. All right. Hopefully this goes a little better. Is the echo still there? Just let me know. All right, so while I'm checking my audio here, if there's no echo, please let me know. I changed the setting. I hopefully, it is okay. Let's say hi to people in the chat. We're gonna miss Jack. Jack is usually here for my live streams every week. We're relentless. Hello. Candace from Virginia. Thank you so much for joining my live stream. Okay, so no echo for some echoes for other people. I'm going to turn this off. Okay, I think I might have tackled the problem. So, okay. We got Jonathan, we have, hi Jack. Thanks for stopping by. He wasn't going to be here, and I gave him a shout out because he's always here. Jack is a fellow AD that works in Ireland, so shout out to Jack. The art department, hello. Silent Shred, actress Angie, hello. I'm so happy you guys are here. Captain X. Okay, great. So audio is fine. Perfect. Fix the problem. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Relentless. Okay, so going back to your first day on set, right? Your first day on set, go in humble as fuck, okay? Sorry if anyone doesn't like my swearing, but you know how it is. You are there to observe, you are there to watch, you are there to take all of it in, go in with a good attitude, go in thinking like, you know what, I'm gonna learn something today, because you should. If you're not learning anything on your first few days of film, like, something is wrong, because literally I go into every production still with 15 years of film experience. I still go into every project, every gig, every day learning something. Could be about equipment, could be about film, could be about like a certain angle, maybe a new camera friggin' shot that I've never seen done, or maybe could be a stunt, could be about people, how to manage certain personalities. I go in and every project learning something, and I look forward to it. Because if I didn't learn something every day, I would get very, very bored, and I wouldn't be in this industry. So your first day, you want to make sure that you are watching, you are just taking it all in, okay? And then what you're really going to do, you're going to listen to everybody, you're going to watch, you're going to listen, you're going to pay attention. Paying attention, I have a video on paying attention. Paying attention is like half the battle. Not even getting into like getting another day on set or another job. Like, if you're paying attention, that's like, most people are not paying attention, okay? Most people are not paying attention. Just to put it out there, they're really not paying attention. So if you're going to go on set, you're going to pay attention, you're watching, you're listening, man, it goes a real long way, because then people are watching you as well. Because here's the thing, if you are new on a set, people know it. People know it for a fact, because they've been working together for weeks in prep. Even if it's the first day of shooting, they've been working together for weeks in prep, or they met each other on a tech scout or something, and they already know each other. So when they see a new face, they know you're new. And now you could be a seasoned veteran or whatever, but you kind of have to make it known that, like, you know what, I am new. It's okay to be new. But that's the thing, is that, like, this helps you if you think about it. It's your first day on set and they realize that you're new. Some people will just ask you questions and you don't even have to do any of the work. So then they start the conversation with you, which does happen, right? So, I mean, that's just like a stroke of luck or whatever. But if you're presenting yourself, you're like really paying attention, people notice that stuff. So that it, like, when you have that good vibe too, you're welcoming and you're like inviting people in to come talk to you. And that's the thing. Like, when I first started, I had a real bad attitude. I had like resting bitch face, like horrible wet resting bitch face. And like, I kind of was just like, I always admitted this like stay away from me thing, because I just was too nervous and socially awkward to kind of like strike up conversation and get into that small talk that I absolutely hate. And then someone's gonna ask me about like fucking favorite movie or something, and I'm just like, I kind of was just like, stay away from me. I am here to do my job. That is not how you go about your first day or your first couple of days, or even like your first whole gig or whatever. Or even in general, to be honest with you. So you don't want that, like, that horrible kind of echo, like that horrible kind of like emitting negativity. You do not want that. You don't want that. So you want to go into it with a good attitude, paying attention, listening, watching. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start watching the people. Watch the people, okay? And what you're watching for, what you're watching for is you're going to kind of pick out the people who you know want to talk. And there's always a bunch of these people on set. Like, there's some people who are gonna be like old Amber back in the day where it's like, shut up, don't talk to me, I'm doing my job. But there's gonna be some other people who are like, they welcome the conversation. They like welcoming the new people. They like to kind of spread their knowledge. They like answering questions. And you're gonna notice who they are. Like, all you have to do is just like, it's very, very easy to pick them out. They are talking a lot. Maybe they're a little gregarious. Maybe they're a little loquacious. You know, they're like talkative. They're like kind of all over the place. Could be a teamster. Could be a funny grip. Maybe it's a cool electrician. Maybe it's a makeup artist. Some people are closed off, but some people are like, yo, I'm here to meet people. And like, some people love people. You want to keep an eye out for the people who love people. And not everyone loves people. I want to be honest with you, because there are some days where I'm like definitely social, I'm in the right mood, I'm like, yeah, let's have a conversation. But if things are like happening, it's a stressful day, didn't really get my day started off on a good start, whatever, it's like, just kind of keep your distance, and then like maybe after lunch we'll have a good time. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's sometimes how I roll, because I'm just like, we gotta get this, I have 20 actors to get ready in 2 hours, and like we gotta get them to set, like we gotta hurry up. So you're gonna keep an eye on the people who are the talkative folks, okay? Because that just makes your, not to say target, but that just makes it a little bit easier for you to like, okay, I have a lot of questions, I can definitely go and ask them questions, or I can definitely like go and strike up a conversation and they won't shoot me down, which most of the time when you start a conversation with people, they're not going to be like, fuck off. Granted, there are going to be like that 10% of people who are going to do that where they might be too busy or whatever. But here's my next thing. The next thing you want to do is you want to pinpoint the right time to do this. Now, for example, you have to make sure that it's not when we're rolling, okay? Because people are looking at the monitor. First of all, you should be quiet. And if you are a set PA or if you're a new person on set, you should not be talking during the roll, because you are the one that should be shutting people up. So don't engage with people and have a conversation when you know we're rolling, and you have to be quiet. So like, and I know a lot of set PAs, a lot of people have like finessed the art of whisper. Like, some people have that loud whisper, but like they can have a conversation right next to someone, no one can hear that besides the person that's next to them. So not everyone has that skill, let's be honest. So like, don't invite conversation when you are rolling, okay? That's crazy. Don't invite it. So that is a really bad time, especially if we're trying to hit the big players. We'll get into the whole VIP people in a minute. Okay, VIP people. The VIP folks. There we go. Very important person people. Sorry. Okay, so finding the right time. So now this timing really depends on who you're trying to get to know and what department you want to get into, or what role basically you're trying to kind of talk to, right? So for example, if it's camera department, grip department, art department, well, more so like props and set dressing, or, electric, or hair, makeup, and wardrobe. Usually if the crew is turning around, like they are like, first, we're seeing this actor, then we turn the camera around, we're seeing the other actor, right? That's the simple example. Like, we're seeing one side of the room, and now we're going to turn around and we're going to see the other side of the room, right? Turning around usually takes a little bit of a setup time. Maybe 10, 20, 30, 40, maybe an hour. We don't know. So sometimes what happens is that there's a lot of waiting around for, maybe cast might be waiting around. And if cast is waiting around, maybe the first ADs and the other set PAs or a key PA might be waiting around. That's a good time to kind of like engage with those folks. But when they're turning around, you don't want to bother grip, electric, and camera, because those are the people actively working to turn the set around, right? So you don't want to bother certain departments at certain times. So a good thing to keep in mind is like, keep an eye on what's happening throughout the day and who's actually working at certain times. Because there are going to be times where you're going to be working like nonstop as a set PA, but also there are times where you do have downtime, where you might be waiting for, cast to come to set. Like, for example, this is a really good time to talk to camera, talk to, the producers or, director of photography, first AD. Well, probably not the first AD because they're probably mad that they're waiting for cast. But if you are waiting for cast to come to set, for example, they have 20 more minutes of makeup or, they're changing, we're waiting for them to step out or whatever, like that's a good time to kind of hit up crew members because they've done their job, camera's ready, set is ready, so we're just literally just waiting for cast to come to set, right? So that's a good time where there's like a lull, there's like everyone's just kind of waiting. Maybe you gave a 10-minute warning and then they're about to step out in 10 minutes. So it's like you have a good 10-15 minute chunk where you can actually strike up a conversation, right? So finding the right time is really, really important. Usually a good time is when they're serving hot food. Now, hot food's a snack that comes out I think 3 or 4 hours after breakfast and then like 3 hours after lunch. So when you're standing in line for something, pretty good time to ask because you're just standing there waiting, right? And the other person like might be in front of you, might be behind you. That is a good time. Like, don't like stalk them, obviously, in the hot food line or something. A really, really bad time. And I want everyone to note this. It's like a really bad time to hit people up for questions and to pick their brain is not during their breakfast or during their lunch. I'm saying it. Remember this. Do not hit people up with like film career questions or curiosity of this like piece of equipment or whatever, or what, do not hit them up during lunch or during when they're like standing like like hoovering their breakfast in, okay? Just want to put that out there because here's the thing is that like if there's a difference if like I'm talking to my my peers and I'm sitting with all the other ADs or I'm sitting with my staff PAs or something and like we're just having a conversation at lunch. It's a bit different because that's kind of a welcoming situation where you can ask those types of questions. But like if I'm off in a corner reading a book, do not come up to me and like disturb what I got going on because obviously I've isolated myself. Maybe I can't fully hide, but I've isolated myself during my lunch to make sure people notice to leave me alone because I need a moment, mental recharge, okay? And I do read at lunchtime, but sometimes, I'm sitting with my, sitting chit-chatting with, my department, so it depends. So just make sure you're, don't disturb anybody. If you're not in their department, is a big one. If you're not in their department, do not bug them during their lunchtime with questions. Horrible, because all it's going to do is just annoy them, and they're going to have a bad taste in their mouth about you, and we don't want that, okay? So we don't want anyone thinking you're annoying and burdensome and whatever, right? We want you to have a good reputation on set. I'm going to go over to the comments. I feel like we got some things coming up. Let's see. We have a question for Jack. I don't think Jack's here anymore. Let's see. Do you work... Oh, okay, so the art department, I have worked in Atlanta. I did last summer. I did a whole feature film with Bryan Cranston and Annette Bening in Atlanta last summer. It was hot as balls. It was so hot. I was sweating literally every day. And there was so much rain, so many thunderstorms. Okay, hi Prakash for being here. Thank you for watching. Let's see, Utsav. What's the all-around position in set? Who can help everyone the most? Okay, so what I'm going to first say is that if you're a set PA, you will be around everybody. If you start out in the AD department as a set PA, and mainly a really good position to be in is the walkie PA. Really, really great start because you are actively talking to each department and you're actively kind of around everyone because you have to distro walkies to everybody, right? And people are always trying to find you for a hot brick or for maybe their walkie's broken or whatever. So that's a really, really good spot to be in. Key PA also talks to all departments all the time. So set PAs are really talking to everybody. When you start going up the AD ladder and you're in the AD position, you start talking to less and less people because you start talking to more of heads of the departments and only the heads of the departments. You're still talking to all the departments, but probably not as many people. When you are a walkie PA or a key PA, you're talking to everybody. So set PA is really the position you want to be in to kind of get the whole picture of like how each department is interacting. So that's a really, really great question, by the way. Jonathan Griffin, Amber, I'm a newbie. I watch your channel and other YouTube videos about film to get a lot of knowledge, and when it comes time to make my first film, I can use the knowledge. Thank you so much for that, Jonathan. I appreciate that comment. That means so much to me. I'm really, really glad that my videos are helping people. Yes, the art department. Yes, the walkie PA is literally always 0. That is so true. I full on, like, I had it, like, I did not want to be a walkie PA, and then I was offered a walkie PA position, and then I was like, oh, I don't want to do it. But then I did it, and I learned so much about all the departments. I learned how to work with each department, how to treat, each department, like how to get the best of everyone. Like, that is like a really good position to be in. And some people don't use it to their advantage, but you can really use the walkie PA position to your advantage. Like, really, like, honestly, like, people are like, Amber, you're great at being a walkie PA. What do you want to do next? Like, they're excited to know, like, what I want to do next. Like, if you're kick-ass walkie PA, whew, like, people love you. But if you're a horrible walkie PA, people just want you to go away. like really, like, you can really, really do a lot with the walkie PA position. All right. So getting back to the right time to talk to people on set, right? Not during lunch, not during breakfast, not when we're rolling, right? It depends like what department you want to talk to, like hair, makeup, and wardrobe. If you're trying to be like a costumes PA, like if they've done their last looks, they're sitting down, we haven't rolled yet, or like, maybe they are waiting for cast to come to set. Like when they're just chilling, that's a good time to hit them up, So the next thing you want to do is you want to figure out what your questions are. What are you about to ask this person? Like, what do you want to find out? Like, really think about that. Like, okay, I've found the person I do want to talk to, but what are you going to say? Like, what do you really want to know? Find out what you really want to know first, because some people are like, hey, and they like freeze up. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you have to remember that, like, keep in mind what you want to know, and that will kind of like bridge the gap to like not knowing what to say, and then like actually starting the conversation and keeping it going, right? So you have to figure out how to break the ice, right? So now you have your questions in your head, and you're like, okay, I know what I want to ask them. Then now you have to figure out how to break the ice. And I have I've like written down a few questions that are like really good to break the ice. So you want to make sure that okay, I guess I'll backtrack a little bit, because I almost wanted to go into like, oh, certain things you don't know. So you want to go back to when you were watching and you were observing the people, right? You want to go back to that, because you might have seen something that was really impressive. You might have seen something like, you might have seen someone hustle their ass, like you might have seen like something go wrong, and then that person like really take the situation down, and like great conflict resolution, and maybe they had an awesome problem solving, or, you're looking at what they're doing, you're looking at their actions. And a really, really good one is like, if someone's hustling and you really appreciate that person, this is a really good icebreaker. Tell them that you appreciate them. Like, wow, like you did that. That was awesome. Or, I really appreciate you because you did this. Not many people would do it that way. Something. So showing appreciation is a really, really good icebreaker. And I'm not saying make some shit up. and I think a lot of people get me wrong when I say this type of stuff in my videos, where I'm not saying like you're going to make up something to, just try to strike up a conversation, because I feel like if it's not natural, and if you don't really feel that way, then it's like shallow. And I do talk about this in my networking video that's coming out this Wednesday. It's like, be sincere. Like, if you really do appreciate, and if you really did notice something so kick-ass that this person did, then say it, but don't make some stuff up, because people will see right through the fact that you're not being genuine. And we don't want that. We want you to be like real. Don't be that fake nice. And I said that in my video too. I'm like, fake nice is horrible. Like, they can feel when you're trying to just fake it just to get a conversation with them. And that's like super annoying. And I've had this happen to me a bunch of times. And then I've also had the other thing happen to me where someone was like, I remember on one of my first, I think my second or third feature film, one of the PAs came up to me during lunch. It was fine. I wasn't really doing anything. He's like, how do you know everything? How do you keep everything in your head? He was just like honestly impressed that like how I run a set and how like he's like, "What? I don't understand how you do your job." Like I don't like, and he wanted to know like more about what a first AD does. And that's how we started that conversation. I had never really talked to him before. It was a smaller set, but like this was like his first time coming up to me and like really starting a conversation, because like I had him do things, right? And I'm like, oh, do this XYZ, but like for him to kind of like have a frank conversation with me was really nice, because I was like, oh my god, this person appreciates me. This is really nice. And sometimes even though I am running a set, or like your VIP people or your leaders of the set, they kind of need to, know that the people appreciate them, and it really goes a long way. So appreciation goes a long, long way for a lot of people. Because I think that sometimes appreciation doesn't get said enough on sets, and I think that it needs to be more common. Like for sure, it needs to definitely be more common. So if you see something awesome that someone did, or you appreciate something that someone did on set, tell them. Perfect icebreaker. Another icebreaker is when you see something you don't understand. And this could be anywhere from how did they get that camera on top of that crane? Like how do they do that? And maybe understanding how they charge a dolly. And you guys may or may not understand what I'm saying. So for the longest time, I did not know that the dolly that you push the camera on is actually powered, and there's a hydraulic system in the dolly, right? And I remember like when I was a walkie PA, I went up to the best boy grip and was like, hey, how the hell does this thing work? And then like there was another day where like they were showing me like the controls of the dolly, where I was just like, like how does this all go down? Right, the dolly bump. Yes, exactly. You know what I'm talking about. Thank you, art department. Like it's exactly what like that. I remember like just because I didn't know, they were like, oh, I can show you all. Like they love talking about their job, and you find them at the right moment, they're all gonna tell you all about it. If you have a question that you're just like, how does this thing work? How do you do that? Now, the one thing I want to stress here is like, you don't go in to a conversation talking about your goals, your dreams. How do I get into this? Like that takes time. That question might be your end goal. Like I really want to know how, to get into this department. But that question is not first. Know that, because then it just becomes like when people come up to me and start, how do I become this? Or what do I do? It's like, it's like a dread, I feel. I'm like, oh God, I can't get into this right now. It's very, like, you know what I mean? Like I can't, like I want you to make sure they get to know you a little better. And then you can start asking those like deeper questions, those more complicated questions, or, the one question that everyone wants to ask, And one way to get around this, and this is kind of like a weird tactic, but one way to get around that whole question of like, how do I start? What do I got to do to get into the camera department? What do I got to do to get into the props department? What do I got to do? How to get around that. It's like when you start to build a relationship and like you are talking to them more and more each day, and you see them more and more, and you actually are like, becoming friends on set, because that's what you want, really. Like more friends on set makes your job fun, way more fun. More enjoyable, so just keep that in mind. And not friends to just be like, hey, I'm friends with this person, they're gonna give me a job. I just hate the insincerity that always happens. I can't really, like, if we don't get along, man, you're gonna know it, and I think that like finding the people you get along with is important, and not being friends with everybody. I talked about this in the live stream before. If you guys remember that conversation, I think some of you guys might have been in that live stream where I talked about like, not just be sincere. Definitely be sincere, and just kind of like just be your true self and whatever. I definitely talked about that in another live stream. So you want to make sure that you're kind of like, really getting to know these people, and then you can ask the deeper questions. And the way around that is asking them like how they got started. And I think that takes a minute to get to as well. And I remember I did the same thing when I was the walkie PA. I keep going back to that job. For some reason, a lot of things happened on that job when I was a walkie PA for 9 months on this New Amsterdam when I did season 2. A lot of things happened. I learned and grew a lot on that job. And I was always with the director of photography. I was there. I was communication between him and the first AD. And I just had this burning question. I was just like, I want to know how he got started. Like, he's super great at his job, and he's like a really good DP. And I just always thought, I'm like, I gotta ask him. I have to ask him. Like, I'm there literally every day, and he kind of wasn't really, I wouldn't say not really warm to me, you know, like he knew I was there. We didn't really talk a lot, you know, but like I did the job, right? And I think he started slowly warming up, and he was a tough nut to crack, I will say, and some people are. Some people definitely are a little bit kind of like, if you're not in their inner circle, they don't talk to you, and it takes a long time to get in. It takes a real long time to get in. So by the time, like, maybe, like, probably 5 months in or something like that, like, he started noticing that I was doing the job, I was doing good, communication, I was doing whatever they needed me to do, and then we had a little bit of downtime. We were waiting for cast. They were set in background. We had a few minutes. It was just me and him in the room. He's by his monitors. He's eating hot food. And I'm just like, hey, Andy, like, how'd you get started? Like, what did you... And he went into this whole big story. And he was like, oh, and he starts laughing. He starts, like, telling me... And I, like, was so nervous about asking this man, this like really great director of photography, like how he got started, but I really just wanted to know. Not because I wanted to be a director of photography, but only because I was like super curious. I was just very, very nervous to ask him, but I did it. And he talked about how he was like, he was a rental house camera PA, and he was like taking drives back and forth to and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And like knowing when you know people's stories like that, it just makes you like look at them a different way, and you like maybe respect them a little bit more, because sometimes when you see these people in those big positions and they might be maybe a little younger or whatever, or maybe a little older than you're expecting, it's like it puts it in perspective. And everyone has a different path, and you know, you'll be surprised on who you think hustled and who didn't hustle, and who, you know, because I thought for sure maybe his dad was like in the film industry somewhere, or like he came from a family of film folk, you know, and that does happen where you have like, for example, that script supervisor on that job, her dad was a DP and she's a script supervisor. Like sometimes you do have families of film where it's like, it just kind of like, nepotism is real, folks. It really is real. It's just because like, you know, people in their families are just, they're around it, you know, they're around it and they know the opportunities are there. So it's like, they take advantage of it, which I don't blame him. I mean, if I had an uncle or an aunt in film, I would be like, yo, get me on set, for sure, you know? I mean, it's honestly up to you to keep yourself there in the long run, if you really think about it. So making sure that you have questions in mind, you have a certain icebreaker sort of thing, you know? So, some other icebreaker questions, like, okay, we talked about, like, being curious about equipment, being curious about, like, you know, how things work, or showing your appreciation for some folks. I mean, there are other ways, but for the love of God, don't ask them what their favorite movie is. I don't know why I hate this question. Does anyone else hate this question? When people ask me all the time, every new show or every new person I meet, they're like, Amber, what's your favorite movie? And I'm like, oh my God, I hate this question. I don't know why. Maybe because I get judged for maybe what my favorite movie is. I don't know. I've kind of like, just like, get away from me. Like, I am not like the best person to ask what my favorite movie is, but some people are like waiting for that to be asked of them. So some people hate it, some people like it. So I don't know. I have no idea. Do with that what you will. If you want to ask someone what their favorite movie is, then great, whatever. Other questions could be, what is one of your favorite projects you worked on? Or, I don't want to be negative, but some people want to know what the toughest job they worked on, you know? Some people are very, very curious about, like, the types of projects that people have worked on. I mean, don't ask people how long they've been in the business, how long they've been doing it, or, you know. I think that there are some more invasive questions that you don't really want to ask. So innocent questions are good, like how they got started, but don't ask that first. Like I said before, don't ask that first. But like, icebreakers, showing appreciation, curious about equipment or how things work. Because trust me, there are people on set who want to answer those questions. They are waiting. They're waiting for you to ask them all, like, hey, how does this work? They love it. And like I said, you have to notice these people. You have to pick them out, because they're definitely there. You have to pick them out. And you're like, okay, this person's definitely going to answer all my questions. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to go to the chat. So hello, Maddie. Hello. Miss Park just loves set talk. Gabriella, hello. Greetings from Indonesia. Oh my God, that's amazing. Indonesia, I've been loving your talks. This particular one feels so helpful because proper, genuine, small convo might take you places. Yo, exactly. Exactly. It is so underrated, Gabriella. Thank you so much for mentioning that because like here's the thing, you literally might not have like an end question in mind, or like you may not know that maybe this person could do something for me or whatever. Like you're just like, yo, that person is awesome and I want to know them. And I always gravitate toward those types of people who are like the people who like really, for some reason, they're like, I don't know, like they're an electrician, but like they seem awesome and I want to be their friend. And things just grow from that. You never know because like then like I know this person, then they're introducing me to another person because they know someone that needs a first AD on a feature film or something. Like so many things can happen just like getting to know someone that doesn't even have to like be in your career path, right? Like me striking up a conversation with an electrician, like for me, that's not going to advance my career like I think it might traditionally. Like, I don't know, like, because line producers, UPMs, and producers hire first ADs, right? So it's kind of like, oh, why would I talk to so-and-so? Talk to everybody because you honestly have no idea. I would say the safe bet is to make sure that you're talking to the people that you mesh with, you feel good about getting to know, and it's like a real thing. Not being everyone's friend, because we talked about that before. You cannot please everybody. You cannot be friends with everybody. I'm talking about finding the people that you gel with and then stick to those people. Give those people your energy because those are the people who are really going to stick by you and then like do good by you. And you're going to do good by them because you're going to want to do good by them, right? All right, so Zach Jenkins, hi Amber, hello. I just wanted to get your opinion on something. I have a feature film that I'll be working on soon, and the director, she said he doesn't want us to become friends with anyone on set. What the hell is that? Okay, whoa, okay, Zach, this is bananas. Okay, I'm actually I'm like, let me take a drink of water because I'm like shocked by this, that anyone would even do that. How does everyone else feel about that? Because that is literally crazy to me. I just wanted to get my opinion on something. I have a feature film that I'll be working on soon, and the director said he doesn't want us to become friends with anyone on set. I don't know what that's about, but that's really, really weird. Zach, I guess I have a couple questions. This will be my first PA job, by the way. Okay, network with people if I'm not allowed to make friends. Oh boy. Texter, can I talk to a person even if it's the director? Okay, so we're going to get to the VIP people in a minute. We're definitely going to get to those people. I swear to God. Okay. So Zach, this is your first time being a PA, and I think what the director is trying to prevent is like fraternizing or like maybe you might be too talkative. And I think just like be friendly, be nice, be polite, be civil, be professional, and like if it does happen where you do have a conversation, it's like I would make sure that the director like doesn't see you doing it because like it might be a distraction for him, to be quite honest, because if people are becoming friends and they laughing and then it creates a weird environment, which to me sounds really weird because the first AD usually should be kind of controlling the vibe. Like if it's a sex scene or a serious like monologue happening, it's a very serious scene with a lot of emotion, or maybe there's a trauma happening in the scene. It's like we usually have closed sets and we usually are like, this is serious, take your conversations elsewhere. Like we're kind of trying to create the environment around certain scenes that are sensitive, and for him to be like he doesn't want us to become friends with anyone on set, that is crazy. And I feel like that's a little bit of a toxic trait. Not the way to go on a film set. And all I'm gonna say, Zach, is like I pray for you on this job. I hope it's not a long job, but that is kind of like really, really messed up. That's kind of like messed up. I don't really like that. I don't really like that at all. I don't know how anyone else feels about that, because that's kind of like jacked up, because like why wouldn't you become friends? Like that's so weird to me. Like I can't even I'm really like, this is crazy, Zach. So I hope that is an okay experience, and just kind of like I would just make sure you're kind of like treading lightly around people on set for sure, like making sure that you don't look like you're there to party. You know what I mean? Because I think maybe he's worried about people working. Not a very good leader, I would say. I'm not talking shit, but like honestly, I don't know what that's about. That's really, really kind of like All right, so now we're going to be talking about, let me get to the art department and these other comments. I think it's a huge mistake to assume who people are based on their position on a single project. Yo, for sure. Definitely. The art department, like, seriously, could not agree any more with that. Like, I definitely 100% agree with that, because I might be, like, a PA on one job, but then I might be a first AD on another job. Literally, that's like half my career. Like, that's seriously like half my career. And then some people might treat me some type of way because I'm a PA on this job, but then, you know, I'm a key PA on the next one, and then I'm like an AD on this commercial, and then, like, I'm all over the place. Like, I'm just trying to pay rent, people. Like, everyone's trying to just trying to pay rent, honestly. So, like, really, like, trying to, like, take them for, like, oh, well, they're this position, well, they're not doing much of anything else, and you kind of, like, have this, like, narrow view on who that person is, and you're really passing some serious judgment on them. So thank you so much, art department, for bringing that up, because that is such a good point. Yeah, the art department, like, he doesn't want you to be friends, run. Yes, I completely agree. It is a real big red flag. That is going to be, and Zach, I need you to follow up on this, because I need you to, like, once you do your project, once you do your first PA job, I need you to report back. Like, I need you to report back on this live stream in a comment, like, later on, and be like, Amber, this is what happened, and, you know, who knows, but I want to know what happens when you do your, you know, this gig and you come back. I need you to report back. I need to know what happens. I need to know how it was. Was he nice? Was he like, not great? Like, I need to know the details. Now I need to know, like, the gossip of the show that you're about to be on. Umberman, a close-knit team is vital for making the best possible project. Of course, be professional, but no one can dictate who are your friends. Yo, for real. I definitely agree. Okay, so Zach, his reason, I love this conversation happening because we're, like, supporting Zach in such a great way. And I love this discussion because you will find that this is something that does happen, which is kind of crazy. I can't believe it happens still, but it has happened, like, when, on like, some earlier stuff I've been working on. His reasoning is because he's heard of people making friends on set and jumping to other projects and not finishing the job for a week shoot. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Whew. It is a very, very toxic, weak mentality. Thank you, Umberman, because this is very, very true. The one thing I will say about that is if people are jumping ship from your project before it's done, that means you're not doing something right. That definitely means that something is happening that is wrong, and that they're running a bad set, there are bad vibes, they don't like working for this director or the producer team. Like, there's something that's happening, because if you're treating your crew well, you're treating them great on set, you're respecting them, like, they'll stay for the 4-week thing. They will stay. But if things are stressful, you're overworking them, not paying them enough, doing overtime, not breaking for lunch on time, like, the simple things. Like, seriously. The art departments make me laugh. Zach won't be allowed on the streams after that job. He's going to be fine. He's going to be all right, because I'm pretty sure, like, he's going to move on to bigger, better things, and he's not going to need that director anymore anyway. So it doesn't even matter. He's not mentioning no names. It's totally fine. But I think that if that is a concern of his, of people jumping ship, then that's a big, huge red flag. That's a horrible reasoning. Like, that's already creating a really weird competitive us versus them mentality, which is a disaster on set. Like, man, it's not going to be very good. Zach, I definitely wish you the best. Go into this with your best intentions, with a positive attitude. Hopefully you can make it better. But that's not a very good situation. But I will say this, is that you're going to learn a lot on this project. It's going to be very hard. Stick it out, finish the job, but definitely stick it out. You will learn so much about who you do and do not want to be when it comes to, like, the things that you see on that set. It's going to be very enlightening to do this project. And I think we all need our red flag kind of projects to be like, okay, for the next one, I know what to look out for, and I know how to run XYZ set a certain way, or, you know, I know how to go about this a better way. So it's gonna be a very, very big learning experience for you, Zach. So I'm definitely wishing you the best on it. Seriously. And maybe they're scared and lonely. Totally agree with people are jumping ship. That's not because of friends. It's because of fundamental problems with the project or people involved in it. Exactly. See, thank you for agreeing with me, Umberman. Thank you so much. This is what I'm talking about. All right, so now I'm going to be talking about the VIPs. I'm going to talk about VIPs. Now, here's the thing with the VIPs, is that they're not No, the VIPs, I'm talking about like the first AD, the UPM, the producers, line producers, the writer, the director, and did I say director of photography? Right? Those are like the big players, like the top positions where you're like, I want to be that person one day. Please give me advice. Now, it takes time, okay? And I wanted to talk about this a little later after, we got into this a little bit more. But these things do not happen instantaneously, okay? It is not instant gratification. You are not going to make a real connection and a real robust relationship or a real, like, friendly relationship in a day, okay? It's not going to happen before lunch on your first day. This takes time. It is not a sprint. Your film career is a very long marathon, and a lot of people want, like, success right away. But no, that is a buildable thing, okay? It's very, very buildable. It's like you gotta go step by step. It takes days. So I'm gonna use Zach's example. He's on this shoot for 4 weeks, and that's a really good, great timing because it's not like you're a day player for one day. This is your first PA gig, and you are, like, staffed. I assume you're staffed. I don't really know. Maybe you're an everyday additional or whatever for 4 weeks. This gives you time. This gives you face time with these people, the VIPs, with everyone on set, because you're gonna be a familiar face. They're gonna keep seeing you. They're gonna learn your name. They're gonna learn who you are, how you work, and if they like how you work, they're gonna want to talk to you more. Okay, so here's the thing that I guess maybe I didn't mention earlier is that if you are lazy, you are not hustling, you are not paying attention, you are not doing your job, you're not doing what you're supposed to do on set, no one's gonna want to talk to you. So don't even bother trying, okay? If you are there, you're paying attention, you're calling it out, you're like on the walkie, you're answering, you're like trying to get answers for people when they're asking you, you're on top of it, you're hustling, you're like grinding, you're paying attention, you're doing your job, okay? If you're doing your job, people are gonna be like, yo, I like this person, and it sets you apart from the rest. It makes you look good, it makes you look better, okay? And then they're going to want to talk to you. They're going to want to learn your name. They're going to want to know what you want to do in the industry. Sometimes you don't even have to do the work. Sometimes you don't have to do like the initiating the conversation because they're going to come to you. Perfect example of this is a trainee of mine, Michelle. Wasn't very talkative, but holy shit, did she really show who she was as a person through her actions. And I was like, she was really good in the training. I got her on a 1-day short film that I did right out of the pandemic in September of 2020. Like, it was like my first thing that a producer friend of mine was like, yo, let's make this thing. I hired her. And I think it was a free gig for her. I think I got like $50 to like AD this thing for my friend. And she is a very, very good worker. Not talkative. She's not going to do small talk. She's not going to be like, she's not a social butterfly, but she's a great person and she works hard. And if you work hard and you do what you got to do and you go the extra mile, people are going to want to talk to you, okay? So that is like half of it. If you are not hardworking, if you are not in it, if you are not passionate about film and you want to do those things and you like want to help people and you want to actually be a great set PA or a costumes PA or whatever, like you want to be good at the job that you're given at that moment, how do you expect for anyone to like give you another job or like the next level, okay? If you don't want to do the simple things, are you having an attitude about it or whatever, and you're like, you don't want to do it, or you're stubborn, or you're like kind of like back talking and stuff, like no one wants to talk to that PA. No one wants to be around that person, okay? Like just keep that in mind. Like who are you showing to them? Like, are you showing your best side? Are you showing your lazy side? Are you showing your attitude to them? Because that is not going to work. So part of this is like, a lot of the times you won't even have to do the work. A lot of times you won't even have to initiate the conversation because people are going to seek you out and be like, yo. And this happened to me all the time. I hate small talk. And I do not like talking to people when I think it's like going to better my career or whatever. And I had a lot of people like, you know what, Amber, you're great. What do you want to do in this industry? What's your main goal? Oh, I want to be a first AD. You're going to be great at it. And that's the type of feedback that I was getting when I was just a walkie PA, which I can be any more grateful for, like, because I worked hard, people are like, they sought me out, okay? So that's like half of it. When you are trying to kind of create those conversations with VIP people, like the producer, director of photography, and the first AD, is that they're usually stressed out and know that they're not always going to be up for a conversation. What you need with them is the FaceTime. And what do I mean by that? going up to them, getting them what they need. Maybe they need a script printed. Maybe you go and get that script. Maybe the script comes back and you deliver it to that producer, or you deliver it to the showrunner, or you deliver it to the director, or you go and, get that thing that the script supervisor needed, because I guess script supervisors like crew, but also kind of VIP at the same time. It is a position that is like people want to become. So do the things. Maybe they need a coffee. Maybe they want to grab their lunch from somebody. Go up to them. Do them those quick favors, because those small little things that people are like, oh, well, I don't want to just grab coffee. If you grab that person coffee, they are eternally grateful, okay? I cannot tell you how many times when I am running a set and I want a cup of coffee and I can't walk away, if a PA goes and gets it for me, I am like so grateful, and I love this PA for doing that favor for me. Like, honestly, because I can't leave set and someone's willing to do me that favor, amazing. Like, that shows me that they at least care, or like, I really want a piece of gum. Like, simple things. Very, very simple things. You can go and get more face time with these VIPs. The more face time you get with like a director, a producer, a first AD, they're like, hey, and you do it quickly, you come back and you get that thing they needed really quickly, and they're like, oh, hey, what's your name? Oh, and then like, one of these first ADs I worked with, he always did this where like the additionals were like really quick with getting them like whatever he needed, and he would like stop them, ask their name, and like talk to them for like 4 or 5 minutes, and it would like blow their mind because they were not expecting him to kind of like stop and have a conversation with them. So approaching the big players, it's not an instant thing. You have to kind of, it's like a very, very, like, it comes in small increments, okay? So you gotta like, finesse the relationship, make sure you become someone that's familiar to them, because then they'll, like, seek you out for that thing, and that's what you want. And then, like, you start maybe talking about, like, it'll come naturally. Perfect example is like the writer on The Equalizer, and then with the key PA, like they just, they bonded, they were like just joking around on set because he's the key PA, he's the writer. Like sometimes you got to grab the writer for certain things. Like you gotta, like, hey, they want you on set. And then like they might have like a small joke, or maybe, if working conditions are pretty hard in on a film set, like maybe it's snowing, maybe it's like downpour rain, maybe it's like we are waiting for such and such actor to come to set, and it's just like a hard day. It's like you can have a laugh with someone, like, I can't believe shit's happening right now. Like, and then those types of small bonding moments jump to and relate to those bigger conversations. And, that key PA was offered like a week in the writer's room. How amazing is that? Just because they were like joking on set and he was a key PA, just like talking to him, So I think that's like, that was like a relationship that took months to kind of, develop. But like, this is not instant. And anyone, I'm telling you right now, it is not instant. And if you're thinking it's going to be instant, you are in the wrong business. Okay. It took me a long time before I was a staff PA, when I was being an additional PA for like years. And then I finally got staff, and then I was staff for years before I even and getting like so many in the indie side. I was doing AD indie stuff while doing the PA union stuff at the same time. So like building upon like small short films as an AD, and then like maybe 1-2 day short films, and I like jumped to like 3, and then 6 days, and then I finally got a feature after like a couple years of being like a short film first AD. So it's like these things are buildable, and it takes time to get to your ultimate goals. And if anyone's thinking they're like gonna be like a crazy famous, like they're gonna have a hit, and like by the time they're like 23 years old, I don't want to be like the bearer of bad news, but like, come on. Like, you got to give this thing time. You got to, like, make sure that you are working toward it. But, like, it's not going to be instant. It's definitely not going to be instant. So, if anyone has any questions, I am starting to get to the end of my live stream about getting to know people and how to kind of start those conversations. I'm going to take a little coffee break and see what's happening in the chat here. All right. I think that's it. Wait. My thing's not updating here. Dun dun dun. It's not updating. Okay. Maybe they leave because they are not friends. Texter. That's great. Sorry, that was really, really great. Thank you guys for the input. I love your channel. Oh, thank you so much, Zach. Thank you so much for saying all that. I really, really love anyone who like joins my live streams. I actually look forward to this. I get a little nervous before our live streams, but then like I get like I get really into it. I'm like, thanks guys, this is great. Um, let's see. I didn't get my traineeship, sadly, so back to the drawing board. You know what, Andrew? I applied to the DJ training program. I want you guys to guess how many times I applied to the DJ program. And if you've been with me for the past like couple of years, like 7 years, 8 years, like you'll know how many times I tried. But I want you guys to guess how many times I applied to the DGA training program. I'm just gonna give you guys a moment to put your answers in. And it is a training program that like builds you up as an assistant director. What my ultimate goal was, right? So I'm finally there now. But all right. You need FaceTime with people. Oh, this is a good thing. Oh, I can't wait to get to the next thing. I cannot wait to get to the next thing after you guys put your guesses in on how many times I applied to the DJA program. Because, Andrew, what I'm going to say is this. Oh, God, Umberman, don't you dare ask me what my favorite movie. I hate this question. Okay, but if you really want me to answer, we'll have a whole discussion about what our favorite movies are because we're going to have that conversation. So, Andrew, here's the thing. The traineeship sometimes, like, it sucks. And let me tell you, like, the first time that I applied and I got rejected, I took it so hard. And very unreasonably so. Like, really, I had to take a hard look at myself and be like, why didn't I get this thing, right? And I think that we don't know, right? You're probably never going to know if they give you the feedback on, like, why you didn't get the thing. But it also is kind of like a faux pas for you to be like, why didn't I get the thing, right? So there are going to be other things that come your way and that are probably more fitting. So I don't want you to take it as like, oh, it was a, I'm not good enough, because some people take failure as an I'm not good enough thing. And I don't think that's right, because it's not right. It's not that you're not good enough. It's just whatever it is, you're not fitting or they're not fitting. It's like whatever is happening, it's just not. And there are so many things on why you wouldn't get rejected. It could be you're not moldable enough, because sometimes that is a huge thing with these traineeships. Like, if you are too experienced, that's the other thing. If you're, if you're not portraying yourself, maybe you don't talk yourself up enough. Some people have that problem. It's a self-worth problem of like, they think they're bragging or boasting or whatever if they start like talking about their achievements. But like, if you're not talking about your own achievements, who the hell else is going to fucking like talk about your achievements besides yourself? I mean, honestly, let's be frank here. Okay. So I applied, I think 4 times. I applied 4 times. I did 1 in LA. I did 3 times in New York, and I got denied every single time. The first one in LA, I was like, there's no way I'm ready for this. I was like, let me just try it out. I mean, I always got to the testing stage, I got to the personality quiz, and then I always got interviewed. I always got to the interview, and the interview was always the thing that stopped me. So the competition is very, very tough in those things. But the thing is that they're looking for very specific people. And I didn't realize that until like years and years after. And probably recently when I actually became an AD in DGA of like what they're actually looking for. My first interview in New York, I was late. I was late because of like it being New York and not knowing. I got lost. It was a whole thing. So I was like, oh, like, well, totally blew that opportunity. The second time, I can't remember what happened the second time, but that was like the hardest time where I thought like maybe this was the time that I was gonna, this is it. This is gonna be the good one, right? I didn't interview too well. I remember I did not interview too well, so I was like, all right, well, I didn't really present my best self. I know I was very nervous. It was horrible. The third time, I thought I had it in the bag. I was like, I gave like a couple years between the second and third time where I was like, okay, I've got some set experience. I got some AD experience. I'm coming into my own. I'm a better person. I have better perspective, and all that still got denied. And I was like, that one hit me the hardest because I thought I was on time. I did really great in the interview. I made the guy laugh. He loved me. And then like there was one question that tripped me up. And he asked me if I was an advocate for justice. And I was like, yes, why wouldn't I be? Like, I was like, of course I am. Like, I'm fighting for, I'm definitely fighting for the people on set, like 100%. Like, I'm definitely one of those people. And he like starts writing down in his notes, and I was like, no, and did not go on to the next round. After that, I swore to myself. I was like, I'm not going to apply for this thing again. I'm not going to put myself through that. I was like, I'm going to get in a DGA. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it the hard way. Submit my book. Do 3-4 years as a set PA. I'm going to do it. And now look, oh wait, I got my little card here. You can do it too, folks. Sorry, like, it's a big moment for me because I worked so hard for it, and I'm glad I'm one of those people, because here's the thing is that, like, DGA training program is like fast track, right? It's like 2 years. And like, I know DGA trainees who have gotten done with the program, and it's like they don't feel ready to be ADs. So it's like, for me, I feel ready. Like, I'm there. I'm really just like, I feel more prepared to be an AD, and they can put me in any slot, and I got this. I know I got it. Like, I've gotten so much experience and stuff, and I know that I went the right route, and the DGA training route was not for me. So, Andrew, it's okay. You're going to do what you got to do. You're still going to get on set. You're still going to make your friggin' film dreams happen, whatever it is. Like, I know that you got this. So another thing in that interview, I remember it was like, I had too much experience where the guy was like, because I was doing a lot of indie AD stuff. I was a first AD. I was like 20 lines of like short films I have done as a first. And he was like, that you have to go back down to like grunt status, right? You're starting back at the bottom. I'm like, yeah, totally, fully aware of that. Like, still, like, it was like he didn't know that I knew. I'm like, I know exactly how this works. I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, I'm not here to like, I'm here to learn. Like, I want to be a better AD. I want to be a better, in the AD department. So there are a lot of things that you just don't know what they're looking for. And if it doesn't work out, just move on. I mean, I would say, hey, apply again if you want, but like, you're going to find a way to make it happen. And the fact that you even applied to that traineeship tells me that you're like going after what you want, and that's what matters to me. As long as you're trying and failing, totally fine. Not trying, not fine. If you're not trying, don't even talk to me. Y'all gotta try. And because you're watching this live stream, I know that you folks are the ones that try, and you're gonna make it happen no matter what. Let's see. The art department, I'd say A, DJ trainee is nuts to even get in. Shaking my head, this history is crazy. Yes. Umberman, with competition being so tough, sometimes it's not what you did or didn't do, it's just saturation of the market. True story. That's a really great point. Right. I can't argue with that. That's totally true. Andrew can try and guess why all I like, but result is the same. Just got to put in the work, get myself on projects, and it's a time to shine. Exactly. You got this. Jonathan, in sitcoms, are the crew members allowed to be at the table read and give their individual input pre-production or each episode? I'm asking as a newbie sitcom writer. No. Crew members, no. Table reads are for the actors, director. I don't recall. No, script supervisor, not usually there. I can't remember on all the table reads I've been on. I've been to table reads because I was a first AD. Producers are there at table reads. Crew, not so much. Crew members are not really in table reads because that's kind of like a safe space for like them to kind of feel each other out as a cast. So it's not really kind of, no. I mean, crew wouldn't really be there. I mean, crew as far as like what position, because crew is like a very like vague term, and a big term means a lot of different people. But like, what type of crew are you referring to? Let me just hydrate, caffeinate really quick. Sometimes table reads are just a lot of times the director's assistant will be on if like they're done in Zoom sometimes, like on TV, they do table reads during lunch, which is like the most ridiculous thing I can think of. I'm like, why would you have a table read during lunch? You're disturbing these people during their lunchtime. They're not really getting a break. They're like, you're making them work, which I hate. But like, what other time are you gonna do a table read, unfortunately? But during lunch, I guess. So, I just hate a random fact for you that they sometimes do table reads at lunchtime. It's horrible. The art department, can you explain how you can do a YouTube as a true professional filmmaker? I've noticed people don't post much. I guess I feel like I need you to expand a little bit on that, because there are a lot of YouTube channels who are like making content where they're like, they're making their short films, they're, making their comedic skits, and they have a YouTube channel. So I guess maybe I need a little bit more to that question. Just a little bit more, the art department. Just a little bit more to kind of like, finesse the answer for you. So give you a little bit more specific answer. All right, we're going to give them time to answer a little bit, to give that a little bit more detail so I can answer a little better. One of the things I'm going to leave you with is you cannot be afraid. And I talked about this a little bit when I was talking to that DP where I was like nervous as shit to be like, I just need to know how he got started in the industry. I'm so curious. I was so nervous. Ate at me for days. So don't be afraid, because here's the thing. If you don't get out of your comfort zone, you're going to have to do sometimes uncomfortable things when it comes to like conversation, and for me, small talk's a huge one, but I succeeded where I was like, oh, I'm so nervous, but I have to ask, and I was like, I like pushed myself to do it. And ever since then, it like came a little bit easier to talk to people. And I struggle with that all the time. So I know other people struggle with that type of stuff all the time. So don't be afraid, because if you don't go after what you want, you're going to regret it. You're going to regret not asking that person. You're going to regret like not going and just seeking, advice from someone, or you're like, I did a whole day on set and didn't speak to anybody. Like, and I've definitely had those days. As an additional set PA, I'd just be on set there locking it up and then like just want to kill myself. Not really. I'm just kidding. Not really, but like really just like miserable on set and just not making the most of my opportunity. And I struggled for years because of it, because I was like totally just kind of like closed myself off and was isolating myself and was not talking to anybody, not making any connections. And I wouldn't even give other PAs the time of day. And this is something I have to add is like, don't be afraid to go after what you want. Don't be afraid to ask those questions. Don't be afraid to talk to people. Go after it, because you're going to regret it. But also, it's not always about the people who are above you. You have to network and talk to people this way. You have to make connections and make friends with the people who are your peers. Like other set PAs, I would hate when they came up and started talking to me when I was a set PA. And I don't really understand why. Because I always saw it and I was like, oh, they're just trying to network with me. And I was very, very stubborn. And when all it kind of was like, we're trying to make the day a little bit better, a little bit more enjoyable. Because if you're there locking up a random park corner with another PA that you can't stand or don't want to talk to, it's really awkward. The hours just drag on. But if you like start a conversation, you joke about something, maybe you talked about what ridiculous thing just happened on set or whatever, then like the hours go by a little bit faster, and then you gained like an ally in the industry. Maybe they're not your friend yet, but at least you got to know them. And then like you got to like, you got a little close. You commiserated a little bit, and you got to know someone. And you created an ally with someone on set, and that's what you want. Also, when you do that, they remember you. And sometimes when they remember you, they're like, hey, this other PA I was working with, I can't do this job, but that person was cool. I got their number. Maybe this PA can do that. So it happens all the time. I tell all my trainees in my Set PA training class, I tell them all the time, like, the people in your class right now are your first line of defense. These are all your allies. Get to know each other, like really get to know who you really want to work with and get to know each other. This is like your first networking opportunity. The people in this class, your peers, you're coming up together, and let's bring each other up. Let's bring everyone up. Like that rising tide lifts all boats. I've heard it like a couple times in like the last week on like certain podcasts and stuff. And I'm like, how am I hearing this over and over again? Maybe I needed that reminder that like we can all come up together. There's no like, let's step on each other. Because let me tell you this, when you are with another set PA and you like try and stomp them out, they're going to remember. They're going to remember that you did them wrong, and they're going to pay you back some way. Like, I don't know, but like karma is a boop. Okay, karma's a bitch, okay? So they will remember, and maybe they might be an AD before you, or they might be a producer before you, and they're going to remember the time you did them dirty. Remember that. So like doing anybody wrong or stomping your competition out, not the way to go. Don't worry about anybody else but yourself. And like if you can help someone, bring them up. Can you let them succeed? Do it. Don't worry about like getting, like there are a couple of people who I'm like, man, they don't really belong in film. It's not my business. I'm not going to hire them, but am I going to be like, hey, don't hire that person? None of my business. Because here's the thing, you may not mesh well with that person, but someone else might. So like, we all got to find each other's like folks. Okay, we all got to find the people we mesh with well. And perfect example of this is a friend of mine. She's going to be on the live stream next week. Her name is Paula. We kind of like, we really built a really great friendship. We worked together on the Equalizer, and then we are, I guess we gravitated toward opposite AD teams. She doesn't really vibe with my AD team I work all the time, and I don't really vibe with her AD team that she works with all the time. But we appreciate the fact that, like, we're both coming up together, because now we're both in the DGA and we're both AD, so it's like we're coming up together, and it's like, I will not be like, hey, don't work for them, and she will not be like, Amber, don't work for them, because it's like, if it works for her, why am I gonna, like, do that, you know, or, you know, I'm not gonna, like, talk negatively about the opportunities that she's given, because if it works for her, it works for her. It may not work for me, but it works for her, and vice versa. So just keep that in mind about your peers. Like, the people you never know, like, all about, like, getting to know people, genuinely, just, like, get to know people. And here's the thing, is that, like, you don't have to get along with everybody. You do not have to befriend everyone. Yes, be civil, professional, and respectful of everybody. But I'm not saying, hey, become best friends with everybody, because that's not what you do. That is not what you do. We're not talking about the art of seduction and manipulation and being charming and stuff. I'm talking about all this stuff in my video on Wednesday. But yes, going about it genuinely, not being afraid to approach people and start a conversation. Because here's the thing, is that, like, the funny thing is that the main people I get this question, the, like, what's my favorite movie, the main people I get that from are other PAs or, like, people who are on my level all the time. They're like, hey, Amber, what's your favorite? I'm like, why must you ask me this question? I don't know, it's really funny. It's very, very funny how I always get it from, like, people who are in my department always ask me what my favorite movie is. Goodness. All right. So, I think I covered everything. Oh my goodness, I covered. Oh, sorry, I'm a little outline. All right, let's get back to the chat. All right, so, you guess you were talking about the camera crew. Let me go back up a little bit. Oh, camera crew. No, the camera crew's not really in the table reads, Jonathan. They're not going to be in the table reads. I mean, because they're prepping other things. Like, usually the table reads happen when, like, they're prepping other stuff. So, like, people are doing different jobs. I hope you don't hear that airplane outside because it's kind of loud. Oh my God. So not usually, the crew's not usually involved in the table reads at all. The art department, but I don't see any 728, 600, Teamsters, etc. making content with industry insight. Is it not more sacred info? I know you're keeping us base level in production, but there are things I literally can't. Okay, so some people don't, like, want to make their own content, and I think maybe that might find anywhere but on set or a rental house. I think that a lot of people, like, for me, I don't aspire to be a producer, and I don't aspire to be a director. I love being a leader, and I love being the main hub for communication, and I love assisting the person who has the vision. I don't want to be the one that has the vision. Like, I've made my own short films and, like, stuff, but, like, I don't, like, want to be a director. And I think a lot of people who work in the industry do want to just have a stable job doing what they like. Like, some people who are prop masters, like, they love doing that. Some people who are set dressers, like, they love doing that. They don't want to do, not everyone wants to make content, I guess, is the answer to that. Like, you know, I do this because I love helping people, right? And there are other YouTube channels who are like, they want to help people come up in the industry. But there are other people who are content creators who they do have YouTube channels, and they do those skits, they do the short films and stuff, and they, like, there is a channel, gosh, I can't remember the YouTube channel that it is, but they have nothing but short horror films. They have short film, and, like, I'm just like, there's some creepy ass horror films, and they have like 20 million views per like freaking short film, which that's not a traditional filmmaking distribution, but they're still making money off their films, you know, and also they're getting seen, which also serves as like a reel to maybe one day get hired as a director on other things, if that makes sense. So I don't know if I'm answering your question. I feel really bad. I feel like I'm not answering the question, but I feel like I am at the same time. Let me know, art department. I have no idea. What do you do to mentally be strong when you are stressed in a stress environment on set? Whew. That is such a little question. That's like a whole... Wait, I had a live stream about this. I don't know what I talked about. That was like weeks ago, but Utsav, I hope I'm saying your name right. I hope I am. Please correct me if I'm saying it wrong. I'm not tackling that last name because, that's a lot of... Oh God, I'm just going to embarrass myself. Sorry, I'm going to embarrass myself so bad. What I do is I make sure that my base level foundation of my physical being is at like, I guess 0 and not negative, right? So like, here's the baseline, right? I make sure I hydrate all the time and make sure I get enough sleep, because those are 2 major things that if you don't have, stress is going to go, okay? So staying hydrated, staying well rested. Also, another thing is, I'm getting real and deep into this whole stress thing, but another thing is making sure you're eating right. Not eating a lot of junk food. Stay away from sugar, processed food, fried food, stuff like that. So that's another thing. Your diet is another thing. Those 3 things, and including exercise. I have to make sure I exercise every day. Could be like doing my 30 push-ups, doing a half-hour workout, running for an hour, whatever it is. Every day, I have to make sure I wake up, stretch at least, and like get my body ready for the day, because I'm about to put it through the ringer, okay? And stretching at night or doing light exercises at night too. So hydration, diet, rest, exercise, those 4 things will manage your stress levels like from the get-go, right? Where it doesn't keep like peaking up. So got that straight away. Next thing is, when I'm on set, stressful situation, right? Maybe director's yelling at me, first AD's yelling at me, something. Who knows, right? Someone's stressed out about something. Maybe the hair department head is yelling at me about something I did. All I know is that I keep reminding myself, I'm gonna do the best I can, because I am doing the best I can, no matter what. Like, I'm always going to deliver the best I can, no matter what. Sometimes I have my lazy days, but like, I'm always going to give my all when I'm on set. I'm going to make sure I do all the things. I'm not going to be lazy. But I remember that we're not saving lives. We're only making movies. We're making entertainment, okay? We're not saving lives. So it's kind of like knowing to just make sure that I don't, like, get too hyped up or start panicking, or I always try to keep myself pretty calm. Usually, if I start to get a little more scatterbrains, I'm always like, I have to stop myself. I'm like, okay, how do I prioritize? Once I start figuring out what I can prioritize, that's usually makes the stress level go down. I'm really good and efficient at prioritizing, so once I figure out my prioritization plan, things go a little bit better for me. So that's I think in a nutshell how I handle stress. I remember one of my first longer short films, fucking actors like yelling in my face. The location is about to like be pulled from us. Directors kind of like freaking out. Producers are yelling at me. Like, everyone was like kind of like, closing in on me. I just had to walk away for, a second, just like get a breather, collect myself, apologize to like, hey, 'cause a lot of things happened that day. Very, very horrible. They never got a contract for the location. A lot of things that happened that day were not because of me. It was because of the producers didn't like lock down the location. So the crew was like freaking out. Everyone was kind of like coming to me for all these things. So they were not about to go to the producer. So, because I'm the one that's going to go to the producer. So it's like, in that situation, I just had to be like, I'm sorry. Things are kind of like in flux right now. Like talking calmly actually calms other people down a little bit. Not telling them to calm down, but just being like, this is what's happening. Sharing information really helps. And then at lunchtime, a couple hours go by, lunchtime, I'm on the phone with, like, my husband for, like, 45 minutes, like, crying my fucking eyes out. Didn't do it on set. Did not do it on set. Didn't do it in front of anybody. But I took myself, isolated myself, called my husband and was like, this is horrible, this is what's happening. Like, it's like, I definitely have had my days where I'm like, holy shit, where, like, there's always, like, there's too much happening. I learned a lot from that experience. Like, definitely learned a lot. So I usually just kind of like take a breath, stop myself for a second. I have to stop moving, because sometimes if you try to tackle all the things that are happening, you don't do them in the right order, and it just makes it more chaotic. So like, I try to stop myself and just like take a moment, breathe in, and then like start being like, okay, what do I have to do first? That's usually the route I go, and I just try to stay as calm as possible. All right, I'm gonna get back. Sorry, that was a really long-winded answer. I hope that helped. I hope it helped. But also, like, I drink a lot of coffee and I chew a lot of gum. Like, honestly, I'm just like, gah. And I try to make sure not to give my energy to people who are like, energy sucks. You know, like, they're just like draining me full of my energy. I try to avoid those people as much as possible because it doesn't make for a good set day for me. Wear Daisy Dukes, everyone will love you. The art department. I remember everyone who ever wronged me in this injury by name and social security. Yo, for real. Like, I definitely can tell you like 3 people off the top of my head who I'm like, nope, never gonna hire, never do it. Like, I know first, last names, how old they are, where they're working. Like, I legit, the art department, like, honestly, whew. Oh my god. I'm gonna get myself some Daisy Dukes. I'm not confident they'll work for me as a big hairy dude, but I'll try anything once. Not even not my shirt that brought extra trauma. Robert Anderson, oh darn, I'm too late chiming in. It's okay, Robert, you're here, and that's what I appreciate. You're here. It's okay. You can always go back to watch the beginning of this. It's all right. Now we're just like doing the whole chat thing. You're tap dancing. That's okay. We will talk off stream. You're good. Let's see. Yes, it's fine. Okay, Robert Anderson, I just made a concept film. Never made one before. Well, congratulations. That's amazing. Making a concept film, like, first of all, that's a whole feat in itself. So congratulations, Robert Anderson. Thank you so much for telling me that, because we need to be celebrated, because that is a whole thing. I know you went through it to get that done. So congratulations. I want everyone to give like Robert a little cheer. I love doing it. My boy is in it. Joel Ouellette. I'm probably butchering that last name. Horrible. He was lead role in CBC's Trickster. Oh, that's really cool. I'm so proud of him. I love your shoot. Oh, thank you so much, Robert. Thank you so much for sharing that lovely, you know, that you did your concept film, and for saying that you love my streams. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your comments. My God, guys, thank you. Sharing the love. I feel the love. It's amazing. Jonathan Griffin, in the film industry, how do filmmakers keep it together when filming spoof movies like Airplane? That is my favorite comedy movie. Very funny. It's hard. It is very, very hard. Like, honestly, like, working with comedians is a little bit, comedians are a different breed, but they're very interesting people, and they can be very, very serious, you know? So it's sometimes it's very, very hard. Like, there are some actors where they would just keep me laughing, and I have a horrible, obnoxious laugh, so I'm like covering my face. I'm like holding my breath to make sure I don't laugh during a take, honestly. And that is very, very hard. But then here's the thing, is that usually they'll watch playback, and if they laugh, if everyone's laughing, then it's like they don't do another take. So everyone gets the laughter out and then move on to the next thing. But sometimes, man, it's hard. It really, really is hard to keep it together, honestly. But it's usually like a bunch of people going like this at the monitor, like holding it in for sound. They're like, everyone's just like holding it in, like, ah. It's very, very hard. Robert Anderson, thanks for all your time for making these. Much appreciated. Thank you so much, Robert. Thank you. The art department, you need to do the episode on the spouses of film crew workers. Those are the real heroes, the art department. The spouses of film crew, honestly, I think when I'm on a job, when I'm home, it's great. I'm home, dogs, husband, we're good. We have a homeostasis. I start getting into the rhythm of actually having like a life. And then I'm on a project. Like when I was in Atlanta for 6 weeks, if you guys don't know, I live in the New York, New Jersey area. So like when I'm not home, it's hard. You know, it's really hard to maintain a relationship. So like that's a whole other thing. Like, God bless if you are married, you have a girlfriend, and you're in this industry. It is very, very tough. So kudos if you have a relationship that is succeeding somehow, because your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever you are with, your partner, they're the real heroes here. They're like the miracle workers. They're really making the magic happen. Like, honestly. Seriously. I'm glad it helped. I'm so glad it helped. Utsav, I'm so glad that answer helped you. I'm so happy. Back to Jonathan. And in comedies, spoof movies in general, what does it mean when actors or the filmmakers of such movies mean when they say that they like to work on a fun set? I feel like that's a loaded question, but also a very simple question at the same time. it's all about the vibe. See, like, you could be making a dramatic movie, but it can be a fun set. It means that the crew members get along, the director, and the first AD, the producers respect their crew. Everyone's friendly to each other. There's not like no one's really complaining. A fun set for me is like when I work with the AD I work with all the time, like he runs a fun set, but he can get serious too. But also like there's a lightheartedness to what we're doing because it's like, we know we can't control the world and we are not doing brain surgery or something, but it's like, we gotta get our days. We gotta get shit done. But like, honestly, it's like, let's have a fun time doing it. Could be like having music on when we're setting up. Could be like having those fun conversations when you can, making friends. Unfortunately, Zach, I'm sorry. That's not happening on your set, unfortunately. But like when you have that type of like, everyone's kind of like close and everyone's like working hard and we're all working together to do that. It's like, it makes for a way better atmosphere. Crew morale is high. The vibe is just good. Everyone's getting along. It's it's fun, and it's also a nice set. I've definitely worked on sunsets where they're not too fun, where, the director may not get along with the DP or myself, and that's kind of like, that's kind of hard. It's not really a good place to be when the director's kind of like, everyone is kind of like, what is this director doing? Kind of like when no one, I think it becomes a not fun set when there's someone in a very specific VIP role and they don't know what they're doing and everyone can tell. That's kind of like that, or when they are purposely kind of doing unsafe things, or when they're purposely doing things that they know they shouldn't be doing when it goes against like OSHA rules or like union rules or something, when you're trying to take advantage of your crew, like just overall like shiesty shit, you know what I mean? That's not a fun set when you have like people who are like trying to take advantage of you as a crew, and it's kind of like not good. Have I worked with the Gator? The Gator? I don't know about the Gator. I don't know what you mean. Man, you're way too experienced, I think. Maybe I'm just like, I don't know. You're a whole another level art department. I could do a whole episode on wrap gifts. I definitely could. It's so hard and costly, but awesome and worth it. I get so many wrap gifts. I don't have any around. Oh my, I probably could show you a shirt that I got that I'll never wear. Oh my God, I probably should. I'm about to show you this atrocious wrap gift. Oh my God. So normal people would be like, yeah, it's a great wrap gift. So if you know me, or if you have seen my videos, I wear nothing but black. I'm not wearing this color. It's bright purple and yellow. It looks kind of blue on the stream for some reason, but it's very, very purple. But like, this is a wrap gift we got, and we got a whole bunch of other stuff. We got like, there was a tumbler we got a hat that I'm never gonna wear. It's like gray, and there's like the cool logo that was like in the movie. There was also another cup. There's like 4 or 5 things that we got for a wrap gift, and like, I use the tumbler a lot though. But this shirt, never gonna wear this shirt. Also, I got the department wrap gifts are usually better than like the production wrap gift, the ones you get for everyone, all crew members get. The AD department gifts, so much better. I got like a dope ass vest, and I got like a winter jacket. Like, wrap gifts are amazing. All right, so if anyone wants any more questions, please put them in the chat. I will answer them. This is your last minute to put your questions in the chat. Y'all, I went blurry. Camera, get with it. Okay. I got an autographed picture of a director for a wrap. Oh my God. All right, who was the? I'm not even gonna ask who the director was, but that's kind of like, that's such a. What the hell are you gonna do with that? What am I gonna do? Frame it? Put it on my wall? God. I'm sorry. I feel like there was something I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, the favorite movies, right? Favorite movies. I'm not even gonna open myself up to this. My favorite movie, I have a real love for Constantine, the one with Keanu Reeves. Love that movie so much. I don't know why, I just do. Worked on an Apple movie, and they gave us Apple bags full of masks. Oh my God. Let's see. I'm trying to think of some other wrap gifts I've gotten. a fleece. I've gotten a lot of hats, a lot of winter hats, because like New York, we shoot in the winter a lot. A lot of winter hats. I haven't gotten anything crazy, like a computer or a tablet or something like that. Even though I'd be like, what do I need this for? Full of, that's like a really, that's a really interesting wrap gift. So last minute questions. So happy you guys can join me for my live stream. I hope everyone has a good Sunday. It is 2:30. We've been doing this for an hour and a half. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for joining my live stream. I'll give it a little bit more time for any questions to come in. I am happy to answer any other questions you have. I hope that this stream has been useful. Again, talking to people in film, you don't know, anybody can be like, bring you the opportunities that you need, and they're going to come out of nowhere, honestly. And if you're working hard, people are going to want to hire you. They're going to want to talk to you. They're going to want to give you the opportunities that you need and want. So a lot of it's just like, just make sure you work hard, create that foundation where you are a good worker, you have a good a good work ethic, you're just going after it. So it's just, it takes time. Also, I just want to stress this. It takes so much time to get like a decent career in film. It takes so much time. It's not instant, honestly. So I'm going to get to these last questions that are popping in. Jonathan, Amber, have you worked on a set or a spoof satire movie? If not, would you like to? I am from New Jersey. I'm actually writing a film noir satire set in New Jersey in 1945. Well, first of all, that's a period piece. I would love to do that. I have worked on some satire movies. I've done it, but like period pieces, I have not done too much of those. So would love to do that. That'd be amazing. So yeah, Jonathan, I'm all about working. But if it's before July, I can't because I'm booked until then. Robert, have you ever done any work up here in Canada? I have not. If you are in Canada, I would suggest reaching out to Laura Witt Films. She has a YouTube channel. She works in Vancouver, I believe, and she knows all about the Canadian side of production. I did a live stream with her, I think like a year and a half ago. I think it was during the pandemic. I believe it was a while ago. So Laura Witt Films, definitely check her out if you're a Canadian person. A person trying to like work in film. A Canadian working in film. Great stream, purge my comments. Oh my goodness. You guys are great. Thank you so much. I'm signing off. I want you guys to have a good week. I am starting a new gig tomorrow. I hope daylight saving time is not messing with anyone's body. Because like, it really messes people up for some reason. Like heart attacks go up and stuff. It's crazy. More accidents and things. I did 2 period pieces here to see what's actually functional when the camera isn't rolling. Yes. Facts. Thank you everyone who joined the chat. Thank you for everyone who asked me all these questions. So happy to do this next week. It's next week's live stream. I have a few guests. It's going to be a little bit different because I'm going to have a bunch of people. I have, I think, 5 of my friends. Wait, so Paula, Chrissy, Ileana, Taisha. So there's 5 of us. 4 people going to be joining my live stream. We're going to talk about all things film. They're all in the AD department. Some of them are DGA trainees. Some of them are ADs now. I'm an AD. Some of them are my Beyond Film School trainees. Some of them are made in New York. So there's 4 of them. It's going to be a lot of people joining me next week. So hopefully we will get some value and shed some light on this film industry for you. But it's all going to be pretty much about like either the AD department or just film in general. They are amazing. Now these women are my personal friends and we hang out whenever we can. We're not all working. We try to get together, but they're like my personal friends and I can't wait for you guys to meet them because they are doing the thing. They are going after what they want and I respect them so much. So that's going to be next week. Also next week I have my live online resume workshop. So if you have a film resume that you need to draw up, you have no idea what to do, you want to make sure you get your resume correct and right and ready to go for this like pilot season that is like fast approaching. It's like pilot season is upon us like right now, like tomorrow pilots start shooting. So like if you need your resume, definitely join my resume workshop. I think it's only like $25 to do. It's like 2 hours. And I also have an add-on if you want a live resume review. I will review your resume on the spot. So like that is not for the faint of heart, because I am brutally honest, and I like tear it up. I'm like nitpicky and everything. So resume workshop next week happening 6 o'clock, and then I have a live stream with my film friends happening at 1. So oh yeah, and hi Patrick, he has joined the live stream. Hello. Okay, so that is it for now. I'm wrapping it up. Thank you so much for joining my live stream, and I shall see you guys all next